Welcome to the Xerox training on the Workcenter Series 7800. The machine that you see before you is going to be the new machines that are going to be launching in the HUD fleet, along with the Nuance and Clio solutions. So the machine that you see here, you have a control panel right here. On the left-hand side of the UI, you'll see the Services Home button, which will bring you back to the screen that you're currently seeing. You have the Services button, Job Status, and Machine Status, and we'll give more detail about those in just a second. You also have a PIV card reader. All the machines for HUD will be locked, and you need to use your PIV card in order to access the machine. You also see the machine has 5 paper trays. This is tray number 6. This has can hold up to 5,000 sheets. Tray number 5 is the bypass tray. Trays number 3 and 4 will only hold 8.5 by 11 paper. Trays number 1 and 2 are flexible trays. And you'll be able to set these up for 8.5 by 11, 11 by 17, or 8.5 by 14 paper. And as you'll see on the screen, you'll be able to customize the settings for each paper tray. So you can select 8.5 by 11, 11 by 17, or a custom size. You'll be also able to select the type of paper, whether or not it's letterhead or 3-hole drilled paper, and you'll also be able to select the color. On the right-hand side of the screen will be your keypad, start, stop, and interrupt buttons. Also will be your login and log out. If you have to use alternate login, that button will be available as well. So again, just to review, the paper trays, 5 paper trays, badge reader, user interface is touchscreen, and to get back to the main screen, you just hit Services Home. There are 2 power buttons to the machine. One is located right here. That is the main power on-off switch. That will be used if you have to turn the machine on or off. If there's going to be a power outage and you need to completely power down the entire machine, there is an additional power switch right here behind the front door. Preparing to scan or copy documents, you'll be putting your documents into either the document feeder at the top. When inserting the documents, you want to make sure you insert them completely into the document feeder. Make sure that you see the green light comes on and you're ready to scan. The additional area for making copies is putting the copies on the glass. Please make sure that you align all copies to the upper left-hand corner where you see the black arrow. If you're copying from a book, you'll position the book into the center of the screen. Again, just as a review, you have 4 paper trays. Paper trays 1 and 2 are customizable to 8.5 by 11, 11 by 17, and 8.5 by 14 paper. Trays 3 and 4 are dedicated to 8.5 by 11, and tray 6 is dedicated to 8.5 by 11. Tray 5 is also a flexible tray. Okay. Let's talk about the basic operations of the machine. For some of you, this will be a review. So making a basic copy, again as a reminder, insert all of the pages into the machine until you see the green light has come on. Select Copy. And you'll see that the machines have some basic defaults set on them, so you can select the type of paper tray that you'd like to use, so such as 8.5 by 11. The default for copying will be 1 to 2-sided. And if you want to staple or do any finishing, we'll run a quick staple. This is a multi-function device, so you can do more than one function on the machine at one time. So while it's copying, you can hit Program Next Job. Select the feature that you want to go to. So you could select Workflow Scanning, Email, Server Fax, Clio Fax, or Autostore while the machine is currently copying. Okay. So we'll talk about the job status and machine status functions. So we just ran a copy job on the machine. So we'll be able to see where the job is. Right now it's saying that it has an error message on it. So if we wanted to, we could see what the message is. We could hit Job Progress. And it's asking that it needs paper loaded in it. So this would be an excellent area to find out exactly what's happening with the machine. And if you needed to load resources, you could load the resources. If you felt that you got what you needed, you could just go ahead and hit Delete. Also in the job status area, if you hit Completed Jobs, if you want to check and see if your scan went through, you could go to this location right here, and you'll see workflow scanning completed, a copy job was deleted, so you can get information on your particular jobs. So if something happened not to be in the paper tray when you came out. Okay, we'll go to machine status. Okay, this will tell you a little bit about your machine. So if you were to place a service call on your machine, you'll need your machine serial number, which is located right here. And you'll need to call that in when you call in the 800 number for HUD. So you'll need that as well. If you're looking for supplies usage, you'll find that here. So you can get the information on your toner cartridges. And if you have any active fault messages, that will be under active messages. So it'll just tell you, currently it's registering that tray number 6 is out of paper. All right, so we talked about the copy features. Also with this device comes printing. We'll discuss printing a little farther down about the print drivers. Those will be pushed out to the end user workstations. Okay. All right, we're going to talk about the Xerox scan to email. This is the current feature that you all are using in the fleet at the current time. When you badge in, you'll see that in the very beginning it populates your name in the to field that is automatically populated for you. If you wanted to add additional recipients, you just hit Add Recipient. You're able to search for users inside of the HUD domain, and you can search all domains. So it is not just the particular office that you are in. You can search across all of the domains. So if you had a colleague that was in Denver, you could search the Denver domain. So we'll search. Okay, and I'll do a quick scan here. So you can put it as a to, a carbon copy, or a BCC blind carbon copy. So we'll just add to. And all of your recipients will show up on the right-hand side of the screen. So we'll do a quick scan. Again, this is a multifunction device, so while you are scanning, you can go ahead and do another job while you're waiting for the job to process. And as you'll see, the job is completed, and it successfully was transferred to the recipient. Okay. The next thing that we'll look at is workflow scanning. And for the HUD team, that will be scanning to your G drive. So again, once you've authenticated with your PIP card, you will be able to see scanning to my G drive. So again, you can go here and select. If you had two-sided originals, you could select two-sided to two-sided. And if you wanted to change the name of the file, so when you get back to your desk and access your G drive, so we'll just change this to test. Okay. We'll put the original back in again. You could also make some changes if it was not text. You could change the original document orientation here. You could also change if you wanted to scan in black and white. You could change it here to scanning into black and white instead of in color. You could also change here if you wanted to turning on, if you were scanning out of a newspaper, you could turn background suppression on so that it's not scanning the background of the image. Okay, so we'll go ahead and hit start here. Again, this is a multifunction machine, so you could go back to program next job and do another function at that time. At the end of each job, for security purposes, we do an immediate image overwrite on the machine. So after each job is completed, there will be an immediate image overwrite, so there will not be any residual images left on the disk of the machine. Okay. So we'll talk about printing. Xerox will be using the print drivers. They will be pushed out to your computers. They will look very similar to the print drivers that you're currently using now. The default for printing for HUD is printing on two sides. So it'll be two-sided printing when the pages come out of the device. If you need to make a change to that, you'll have to do that in the actual print driver itself. You will be able to access the finishing options that are available on your particular machine, such as stapling and three-hole punch. And you'll see on this screenshot right here, this is an example of the print driver. And you'll see that you're able to select any finishing devices if you want output in color or output in black and white. Okay. All right. As I mentioned before, all machines are going to be locked down in the HUD fleet, so you will need to be able to badge in. Please make sure that you do have your PIV cards and your PIN numbers. You will insert the badge into the HID reader. The blue light will come on, telling you it has made communication to the authentication server, and then you will enter in your PIN number. If you happen not to have your badge or you're waiting for your badge, you can also log in with an alternate login, which will be your network login, like you would log into your PC, and your network password. Okay, now we're going to talk about the Nuance solution. And the button that you will see on here is Autostore. So we'll talk about the different functions of Autostore. Okay, so you'll see displayed on the screen here the functions that are available through Autostore. So we'll just do a brief review. You can scan to home. You can scan to the email. You can scan to your G drive. And you can scan to my OneDrive, the Xerox OneDrive. So based upon whatever function you want to do or the scanning location you want to go to, you can select one. So what has happened to select scan to my OneDrive? As you'll see here, there are some fields that can be changed. So you can go here and change if you want it to be photo and text, text or photo, whether or not you want the scan to be one-sided or two-sided based upon the original, and if you want the scan to be in color or black and white. So we'll select color on this one, and we'll select text. Okay. Insert your original into the document feeder again. Make sure the green light comes on. We'll change the name of the file. Instead of it being scan, We'll change it to test 2. And then we'll hit start. Okay, and now the document has been scanned and transferred to your OneDrive. Okay, to get back to the home screen, you can either press the arrow or you can press the little home button. So we'll press home. Okay. One additional feature on here is scanning to email. If you'll notice on the screen here, you'll see scan to my email and scan to my email lookup. If you wanted to scan to yourself as well as adding people to the directory or to the list, you'll use the lookup feature. So we'll say 2. And you'll notice there's some lists here as well, the alphabet, or you can just use the little search glass. It's going to search for the people in the directory. So you're going to want to add her, so you'll hit the plus sign. Okay. Okay, again, it's going to search. Okay, and then her name will show up in the right-hand side. You can type a subject. You can also leave all of this blank as well. Okay, and then we'll hit start. Okay, and the job has been sent. Okay, and by hitting the X button, we went back out to the original screen. So we'll log back in one more time to Autostore. Okay, and we'll do one more, scanning to my home folder. Again, you can change the name if you'd like. Okay, and if you wanted to change, again, it has the same settings. You can change if it's color, black and white, photo text, or if it's two-sided. So we'll put the original back in. Again, make sure the green light comes on. When you're inserting the originals into the document handler, you want just the paper guides to hug the paper but not squeeze the paper. So again, we'll press the green button. And the Nuance solution is really designed to be the scanning solution. This is a preferred way to scan. You can go to one location and get scan to email, scan to network, scanning to your G drive, and scanning to OneDrive. Okay, so we're finished with the Nuance solution. So again, you can either go back to home, which will put you back to the original Nuance home, or if you're ready to close out of the particular solution, you just hit the X. All right, we'll talk next about, again, just as a review, scan to my home folder. That is going to scan to home. Again, you can make file selections there. You can make changes to two-sided, black and white, or color. Scan to email, looking up. Again, for a review, you can go here and type in an end user's name. It'll populate that field. You can put a subject and change the file name. Okay. Scanning to your OneDrive. Again, you can change the file name and the different settings. So you can say if it's two-sided, black and white, or color. Okay, now we're going to talk about the Clio Fax Solution. Okay, this is the faxing solution, so no longer are we analog faxing. So you'll be putting your originals in that you want to fax. So you'll take your original, put it in the document handler. Again, make sure the green light is on. And you'll hit this location right here, fax. You'll type in your fax number. Okay, and you can add it to the list. You can add multiple numbers at one time. And then once the original's been loaded, you'll just hit send. And you'll see that it's getting ready to send the document. Okay, and you'll see right here on the screen that there is confirmation that the job has been sent. Okay. Again, we'll go back to the Clio Fax solution. So we'll go back to Clio Fax, select the icon. Fax. And you'll see here there are some options. Okay. So you can say it's a one-sided or two-sided document. So if it happens to be a two-sided original that you want to fax, you just select two-sided. The fax confirmation forms will be emailed to you once the fax is completed. So you will not see a fax confirmation form in the output tray. So when you see on the screen that the fax has been completed, it will be sending you an email, so there will not be a confirmation sheet that shows up in the output tray. So again, we'll send this one. And this one is set up for one-sided, so it'll be only scanning on one side. Let's relaunch this again. Okay, so we'll put the option for one-sided. Then we'll put the phone number in. Hit add, and you can add more than one fax number, and hit send. Again, at the end of the fax, you will see where it says job completed. So that means that the fax has now been sent out to the recipient. One feature I did want to make sure that I do mention is the keyboards. So when we were in the Clio Fax or in the scan to email piece, you can use this keyboard to enter in information. So we'll go back to email. We'll clear this out. So we'll hit scan to email, add recipient, network address book. So we'll type in okay, and then you just hit enter, and it will search. Okay, just make sure that the keyboards are stored underneath the machine so that once you're done with working on it, that you store the keyboard back under the machine so it doesn't get damaged. All right, we'll go back to Services Home. Now we're going to talk about maintenance on the machine. Clearing jams on the machine. For the document handler, you'll lift the top of the document handler. And as you see right here on the screen, there is videos that will guide you through how to clear out the paper jams. And the video will continue to play until the jam is completely cleared. So you can go in here and retrieve papers. Underneath the document handler, make sure you pull this completely up, as well as make sure it gets locked back into position. You want to hear it click, otherwise the paper will not be able to feed through correctly. Okay, we'll talk about paper jams in the paper trays. First place is in tray 6. Make sure you completely clear out the paper feed area in this area if there's any paper. Also on the side of the machine, this is paper area B. Again, you'll see the video. It will display where the paper jam clearance is, and it will not disappear until the area is closed up. Okay, paper jam area A. You'll notice in this area there is an A1 on the side. You just lift up on the lever. Anything that's safe for an operator to touch will be marked in green. Okay. Also, paper jam clearance area, the transport. This is the top transport on the slide that you see. You'll just pull the paper out from underneath here. Again, follow the video, and we'll tell you where the paper needs to be taken out. And once you reset the jam, the video will disappear. Okay. We're also going to talk about replacing the toner cartridges. These are the four toner cartridges: the black, magenta, cyan, and yellow. When replacing a toner cartridge, please make sure that you insert the toner cartridge as directed. There's an arrow on the top. Make sure gets completely pushed in. Okay. In addition, there's a cleaning mechanism. These are the print heads. As part of the maintenance, you will be cleaning the print heads. So you'll just need to make sure you pull out the little cleaning wand and slide it back in. Okay. There will not be a wand that you see comes out by pulling that out. That will make the cleaning action of the print heads. And then this is a replaceable unit as well. Anything that's a replaceable unit will be marked in orange. Make sure that all the parts are put back in the lock position. Okay, we'll talk about cleaning the glass. There are two areas of the glass that need to be cleaned. One is the main scanning area. You want to use ammonia-free cleaning products with cleaning the glass. And also make sure you get the second area scan space right in this location. Make sure you clean that as well. All right, so we'll talk a little bit about a review. For the toner cartridges, again, make sure you insert them with the arrow facing towards the machine. With the staple cartridges, it's up here. Again, you'll see that it's yellow, so it determines a customer replaceable unit. Just make sure you lift the cartridge all the way out, the empty one. When you put the new one in, again, make sure it goes all the way in and clicks. Okay, and it'll return to its original operating condition. Okay. If you need any assistance with the Xerox machines, there will be a label on every machine that has the customized 800 number. You call these folks with your machine serial number. Let's review where the machine serial number is. Machine status. And the serial number is located right here. You call in that number, and there will be someone there that can direct you either for placing a service call or helping out with any kind of service or issue with any of the applications on the machine. Thank you for joining us for the training on the Xerox 7800 series.